This meeting is called to order in accordance with the Public Open Meeting Act. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Highland Park Planet on January 7, 2026, and was posted on the Borough website at www.hbborough.com and on the bulletin board of Borough Hall at 221 South 5th Avenue in Highland Park, New Jersey, and has remained continuously posted as required by law. Fire exits are to my right and left of council chambers. And I'm gonna ask Harry, can you lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Foster.
Yeah.
Councilmember George.
Here.
Councilmember Hale.
Councilmember Hale.
Here.
Councilmember Hirsch.
Here.
Council President Kim Cho-Han.
Here.
Councilmember Pistonik.
Here.
Councilmember Vargas.
Here.
Borough Attorney Renaud.
Here.
And Borough Administrator Rivera.
Here. And now we're going to awards and presentation, and we have a proclamation recognizing International Overdose Awareness Day, which will be August 31st, 2026. And because Councilmember Jason Postanik oversees the Department of Health, the Board of Health, and that commission, I'm going to ask him to please read that proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm privileged to read this one aloud. So this is a proclamation in recognition of International Overdose Awareness Day, which is technically on August 31st, 2026. We presented at today's meeting, the next meeting before that date. So without further ado, whereas the Borough of Highland Park and its leaders in their commitment to improving the safety and quality of life of town residents are keenly aware of the dangers of drug and alcohol overdoses. And whereas according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there were 69,147 drug overdose deaths in the 12-month period ending in January 2026. According to the Partnership for Drug-Free New Jersey, there were 1,312 suspected drug overdoses in New Jersey in 2025. And whereas the day of August 31st is observed as International Overdose Awareness Day, the Pennington Institute of Australia, a nonprofit organization leading the IOAD, the International Overdose Awareness Day campaign, suggests that community leaders wear purple clothing, light up local landmarks in purple, and conduct campaigns on overdose awareness to raise awareness of the issue. And whereas Highland Park is fortunate to have two respected organizations in town or nearby, which both raise awareness of the dangers of overdoses and help potential victims find treatment. And whereas the Vision of Hope Recovery Center in Highland Park, a program of prevention links, provides a wide range of services, including peer recovery coaching, support groups, life skills development, family support services, harm reduction education, and connections to community resources so people can build meaningful connections, develop the tools needed to sustain long-term recovery. And whereas the Center for Network Therapy, with offices in Middlesex, Freehold, and West Orange, offers outpatient detoxification, partial care, intensive outpatient programs, peer recovery coaching, peer-led and clinical support groups, life skills and vocational development, family education and support, and less intensive and frequent outpatient programs that enable clients to recover while staying active in their regular daily lives. And therefore I, not actually Elsie Forster, but on behalf of Elsie Foster, Mayor of Highland Park, do hereby proclaim Monday, August 31st, 2026 as International Overdose Awareness Day in the Borough of Highland Park, and urge residents to become more familiar with the signs and dangers of overdoses and the remarkable work of the Vision of Hope Recovery Center and the Center for Network Therapy. And in witness thereof, I set my hand this 11th day of August 2026.
Okay, we would like to present the proclamations to the groups that are here.
Nice copy.
Here.
Surround the man.
We good?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do. That's great life-saving work. Okay, and now we're gonna move on to approval of minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 7, 2026, regular meeting session as distributed?
So moved.
Roll call.
Councilmember George,
Yes.
Councilmember Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes.
Council President Kim Cho Han,
Yes.
Councilmember Pistonik,
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
And now we go on to council report. I'm gonna start off, I'm gonna mix it up tonight. Councilmember Vargas.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. My name is Omaris Vargas, and I serve as the council liaison for our Recreation and Arts departments and commissions. It's kind of hard to believe that we're already in August and that school will be starting in just a few short weeks. I know, right? Well, I hope everyone makes the best of the rest of the summer. Okay, news from the Recreation Department. Registration is now open for several fall recreation programs. Youth soccer grades 8 through 5 is scheduled to begin on September 15th, but registration is currently open until September 1st. Flag football for grades K through 8 is also open and is scheduled to begin on September 10th. There's also table tennis for ages 8 through 12 and ages 12 through adult, as well as chess for ages 7 through 12. For adults, registration is open for the fitness programs, including yoga, tai chi, and fitness for all. For registration schedules and additional information, please visit the Highland Park Recreation website at www.highlandparkrec.com. Okay, Park Stock is coming up. There's another one coming up this Thursday. This will be our third free Park Stock concert at Donaldson Park, Road 1. We're excited to welcome the Ryan Red Trio performing blues, rock, and soul. Our first Park Stock concert was on July 16th. Drew a nice crowd despite the heat and the air quality. And our July 30th concert featuring Era, which was a Latin fusion band led by Tony Martinez, was fantastic. It was so nice to hear Latin music coming from the park. It was really great. We had a very nice crowd. So you don't want to miss these free concerts. Bring your friends, bring the kids, and join us at the park. There's usually 1 or 2 food vendors, ice cream trucks, so please come down. There's plenty of picnic tables to just help spread the word to these wonderful concerts. Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up. Been working with community services and planning a series of events in celebration of it. Hispanic Heritage Month runs September 15th through October 15th. We're gonna have, we're planning activities for different ages and opportunities. One of them is a planned cultural art exhibit, which is tentatively scheduled for September 28th. So if you're an artist and would like to display your art that represents your Hispanic Latino culture, please contact me at nvargas@hpborough.com, or if you have a friend that's an artist, please refer them over. We already have a few people lined up. One of them which works in the borough, and we're very excited to have her art. I also want to thank Kim McGraw, Janet Molina, and Ashley Bureau for being part of the planning committee and bringing this idea forward. Kim and her team are very stellar, so I'm excited to see how this develops. So stay tuned for more information. On the Historical Commission side, they will be hosting their next community open mic on Wednesday, September 16th. The theme will be the immigrant experience in Highland Park. So if you or your family have an immigration story, an immigration story connected to Highland Park and what your experience has been living here or coming here that you would like to share, please reach out to the Historical Commission at hc@hpborough.com. Okay, and the Arts Commission, the ever busy Commission. They've been really busy with their Learn and Create series. They held a very successful candle making event on Sunday, August 2nd at the Highland Park Public Library. Members of all ages created their own candles. It was very cute. There were fathers and daughters, mothers and daughters, sisters, couples. It was very sweet. Everybody got to make their own, quite a few, more than one, granulated wax and essential oil candles. So it was really, really great. They have more of these events coming up. They're going to have a paper marbling on Wednesday, September 2nd at 6:30 p.m. A collage art on Wednesday, September 23rd, and the art of compost on Saturday, September 26th at 2 p.m. We're going to be releasing this information out in the Borough website as well as the social media. So there's also mark your calendars for November 15th, where the Art Commission is planning their yearly poetry festival at Pinos, and that's very, very exciting. Zone 16 Center. They've had a very successful apprenticeship program this summer. I'm very happy to see also the names of the kids that I'm signing for this evening. They have approximately 15 teams participating, and they've been going on trips. They've been doing community service projects, art lessons, among a lot of different activities. I had the pleasure of spending time with them and leading an art activity with them and getting just to know them and hearing their perspective. They're really a great group of kids. Actually, 2 of them are going to be helping us plan the Hispanic Heritage Month event, specifically for teens by teens. So we're very excited and we're looking forward to that. Arts Commission volunteer Liana Zamora has also been providing drawing lessons to the teens through a partnership with the Arts Commission and Zone 6, and they've really been enjoying it, and we're hoping that she's going to be able to do this every week for the rest of the summer. So if you're a community member with a skill, a program, or anything you want to share with the teens, please contact Ashlyn Burrell, the Teen Center Coordinator, at aburrell, that's ABURRELL at hpborough.com. Lastly, I just want to express my gratitude to the Middlesex County Commissioners and their planning committees for the various flag raising events and ceremonies that I've attended. I attended the Peruvian, the Jamaican, and Puerto Rican flag ceremonies, which were all really, really lovely. It was also great to be there alongside Mayor Foster at the Jamaican and the Puerto Rican ceremonies. They were really great. These events are open to everyone in the county. And the next one coming up is going to be the Mexican flag raising on September 15th. They all take place at the county initiative building at 75 Bayer Street, and we do share these events on our social media, so stay tuned. And that includes my report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I must echo what you're saying about the teens. They also came up for a meeting with me as well, and their questions were tough. They were great. Kudos to Ashton with that group. And now I'm going to move to Councilmember Jason Poston.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a very, very brief report for tonight. My name is Jason Stelnick. I chair the Health and Human Services Committee. I just wanted to highlight one item that's not explicitly listed in the agenda, but as part of the bills list, there's a cool little thing that the Commission for Universal Access is helping to support, and that is a field trip for students from Urban to go to the We Rock the Spectrum play gym in Piscataway in this coming fall. So it's a really neat space that provides a number of activities and fun games and that also serve a therapeutic purpose for children with special needs. So this is done in partnership with the school, so we're very excited to hopefully get everyone's support for that tonight. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention was just kudos to you, Mayor, and the team here at the Borough, Terry and everyone, for the work in securing that grant that we will be approving with Middlesex County to help support our, what is it called now?
Borough
Square Plaza on South 3rd Avenue. It's $1.5 million, which is a lot of money, which will help make this a really extra special place. So thank you to the team and everybody here at the Borough for all the work in making that happen. And that was all I had for tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Hill.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just wanted a couple of shout outs for I'm Matt Hale. I'm chair of the Economic Development Committee. Just wanted to give some shouts out to Main Street and to everybody for the work on Restaurant Week, which ended a bit ago. Great turnout at our restaurants, great participation by our restaurants during Restaurant Week. Of course, that culminated in the World Cup Finals, the public viewing of that. It's also a great event, so thank you to everybody who put that on. Thank you to everybody who came out to support that. Also, thank you to the police department for National Night Out. That was another fun event, as always this year. And I even putted well on the mini golf, so I think that was improved my putting, which I think is really important. As always, make sure to attend the farmers market, as well as all our businesses. Sort of the doldrums of summer, everybody's away, so if you're not away, show up. Show up to farmers market, show up to all our businesses right here towards the end of the summer. Coming up, we have Arts in the Park, which is September 20th, our big annual event. We'll have more on that later, but you can check the Main Street website for Arts in the Park. It's September 20th. And I also wanted to give a shout out to one of the items, the same item of $1.5 million is a very nice figure to see in a consent resolution for Borough Square. And it's taken a lot of work to get there, but it's pretty exciting to see that. But just as exciting is that we're also putting out the contract to fix the water main and the sewer. So, you can't put on top until you fix the stuff underneath. So we're excited. Borough Square is moving ahead, moving fast. So lots of great stuff there. And that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember George.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'm Phil George, Councilman, liaison to our public safety agencies. Just a brief welcome to Assemblyman Stanley's new staffing for looking at our town and learning more about our county. I wanted police department and fire department joint warning of public safety concern, the excessive heat that we've been running into, and the pop-up storms that we're having. I wish we were having more pop-up markets, but we've been having these horrendous pop-up storms. One thing we need to be extra careful about, in addition to staying hydrated, staying indoors as necessary during the excessive heat. We're losing a lot of branches, large-scale branches from our mature canopy, and they're oftentimes bringing wires down. Don't judge whether it's just a cable or a phone line where you can't see anything, so it's not there. We have had some lines come down. If you get near them, especially during the rain, which is also pooling and causing bird baths, you may be standing in water and looking at a tree that just fell in your yard or in the street and get electrocuted. It's a very serious danger around the county and the state. There have been problems with that. It's really serious business to be careful in avoiding that. Also, recently, as I've said, our fire department is, as it becomes more and more established with our full-time firefighters pulling in our volunteers as well. Around 2:30 in the morning this past Sunday, our department was requested to fill in for Jamesburg, which was attending a large house fire with people trapped inside. We actually came over to Jamesburg and took the place of their fire department while they were fully involved in fighting the fire there. So that we're beginning to show our presence around the county and be part of a bigger presence in the firefighting. I'd like to thank the volunteer firefighters, Mario Diaz and Mejia Daragority, career firefighter Chris Grande, who assisted in that matter. And of course, now my computer doesn't want to work, so we'll change pages. With regard to the library, recently we had a program. The library was actually the first library in the nation selected to be part of a program for the national conference for it's called the National Conference on Citizenship, and they selected the Highland Park Library to be a participant in the American Conversation Project this summer. The project gathers small groups of 4 to 6 people to discuss a handful of questions about community pride, residents' struggles and successes and the divides that we encounter in living our everyday life here in our particular town. The group discussions, I was part of one 2 Sundays ago. The group discussions actually went on much longer than budgeted, much more deeply than everyone thought, facilitated by the trustee president, Nancy Kranick, and the Kranich and the director, Michael Bovich. There is another one coming up this Sunday. It was fascinating and enjoyable. There's space for 2 or 3 more people in that. It's at 1:30 on Sunday afternoon, the 16th. And finally, at the library, we're going to be having invasive plant removal on Saturday, August 22nd, starting at 10 a.m. till about 2 o'clock. We're bringing a lot of water, wear light clothes and a hat. It's a cooperative project with Sustainable Highland Park. They'll be removing invasive English ivy and preparing the plant bedding for a native plant pollinator. So this is one more joint project, the library and Councilman Hale's liaison for Sustainable Highland Park. So it brings everybody together, but the library will also be giving out information about why we need to remove native invasive plants, how we can move forward with pollinators, and distributing, I think also they may be having some seeds for the pollinator project. So I'd like to thank Sustainable volunteers Milo Gould, Matt Payne, Andy Warren, and Laura Gould from Sustainable Highland Park. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Council President Kim Cho-han.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephanie Kim Cho-han, and I chair finance. So from a finance standpoint, tonight's agenda, we have several items focused on anywhere between grants, infrastructure, operations, and some of our long-term planning. First, like Councilman Hill had mentioned about the plaza, tonight we're accepting the $1.5 million Middlesex County Open Space Grant for the South Third Public Plaza, also known as Borough Square. This is a big win for our Highland Park, thanks to the mayor and everyone that was involved, also our business administrator. This helps reduce the local financial burden for a project that will essentially create a public gathering space in the heart of our downtown. So looking forward to that. On the infrastructure side, we have an award of a bid for the South Third Avenue water main replacement and sewer main cleaning in the amount of $345,000. And on the operations side, on the agenda, we have authorizing the continuation of our shared services agreement with Middlesex County Utilities Authority. We also have our routine but important items, including our online auction of surplus property and the purchase of our leaf bags and renewal of our software licensing. And that is it for my report. I hope everyone is enjoying their summer.
Thank you. Councilmember Hurd.
Thanks, Mayor. I benefit from hearing everybody's good news. That's great. My name is Matthew Hirsch. I chair the Public Works and Public Utilities Committee. Just a few small updates and then just a quick thought. I wanted to thank the Highland Park Police Department, Lieutenant Culver. Thank you so much for National Night Out. I got to go with my youngest son, and it's always a really great time. It's such a good way to remove any abstractions with the local government, meet all the people that keep Highland Park safe, which includes the Highland Park Fire Department, First Aid Squad, Community Emergency Response Team, and then also all the boards and commissions who showed up and showed their wares at the at National Night Out. It's a great opportunity to come together as a community. It was a really great night, even though I didn't win the bike raffle. Somebody far more worthy did. So it was. I just really wanted to. We walk away from those events feeling really good, and I hope everybody else does too. Really empowered of the ability to get involved in your community and to meet your neighbors. And so it's a great time. I wanted to just recognize the Department of Public Works and Borough Administrator Terry Hover and the Mayor for working closely with Reyes Cultural Center for continued improvements at the Environmental Center. Again, this really beautiful asset that is also on the same grounds as our native plant sanctuary and fronts the river, truly a jewel in Middlesex County. That small facility, that small but mighty facility had been somewhat neglected, particularly during the pandemic. And so now that we have folks back in there breathing life into the building, it's really a great opportunity to improve the infrastructure there. So new HVAC, which keeps things cool in the summertime, as Councilwoman Vargas knows, and then more to come. It's so much, when it comes to identifying improvements, is really just to have eyes and ears on these areas and really experience them practically every day. So really look forward to continuing working with Reyes on identifying areas of improvement, but then also just really shout out to the responsiveness of Terry Hover and the Department of Public Works for really always being at the ready for responding and engaging. A couple of other things. As liaison to Sustainable Highland Park, I just wanted to mention we have a few cleanups coming up. It is the dog days of summer, but enjoy it while it's here. Taking the sound of the crickets in the evening summer hours, as well as the beautiful sunsets and all of our wonderful parks. And so, but that doesn't happen by, our wonderful parks don't happen by accident. It requires community involvement. And so Sustainable Highland Park organizes and manages several community cleanups, which again is also a really empowering way to take agency over your community, feel like you've really done something, and also meet new people. It's never the same old folks who show up for this. So it's a wonderful opportunity to keep our town clean and green. So we have a couple of cleanups coming up tomorrow, Wednesday, August 12th at 5:30. We're going to be doing rain garden maintenance at South 5th Ave and Raritan Avenue. We're just going to be working to routinely clean out the detritus that just gets blown into in there by no one's fault, but an act of God. And on Sunday, August 16th, 2026, we have a community cleanup at the high school, middle school. We're going to be in the parking lot off of North 5th Avenue. And gloves, buckets, and other supplies will be provided, so you can show up hands-free. Make sure you're wearing shoes and socks. That's important. Then next Thursday, August 20th, we have another rain garden maintenance scheduled. That location is to be determined. But stay in touch with the Sustainable Highland Park's activities agenda by visiting sustainablehighlandpark.org/events, or just go to sustainablehighlandpark.org and learn about the many initiatives that we're working on, as well as how to get involved. Because even though there are appointed members to Sustainable Highland Park, once you get involved, you are a member of Sustainable Highland Park. So thanks to them for all of their work. I wanted to, I attended a really great discussion last week led by Governor Sherrill in Princeton at the Arts Council of Princeton. That included Senator Andrew Zwicker, Mercer County Executive Dan Benson, former Trenton Mayor Douglas Palmer, Mercer County Commissioner Sam Frisbee, Princeton Mayor Mark Frieda, just about how we can collaborate as governments in order to recognize the inequities of our past and then build moving forward. And it was a truly thoughtful discussion that, as you can imagine, really ran the gamut of policy proposals, how local governments can collaborate, work together when it comes to all types of things, including big lofty goals like addressing housing affordability, but then also the mundane day-to-day things like how do we partner to collect garbage? Are we doing purchasing agreements with other towns? All the things that we do in Highland Park. But it did get me thinking a little bit about affordability, since that's something that we keep talking about. I had a really great conversation with a resident on River Road last week about how convenient Highland Park is to locate. This is a renter, as am I, and this is how convenient Highland Park is to live in, and what makes it such an attractive location in the county and in New Jersey. Access to employment centers, to major employment centers, colleges and universities. We have a river it's a huge asset that we need to better exploit in Highland Park, and we're also very close to the train. And when you think about Highland Park and market rents and how unaffordable it is in New Jersey to live, I do think about our proximity to the New Brunswick train station. And I think about what the market rents are for areas, on the north and south side, particularly before South Third Avenue. There are a few places in New Jersey, and I'm not trying to make a case that Highland Park is any more or less affordable than anywhere else. But there are very few places in New Jersey where you can rent a decent and comparably affordable market rental so close to transit. We really have an amazing situation here in Highland Park, where there still is access, dwindling, but there still is economic access for folks who are looking to locate here, particularly compared to other parts of the state, where if you want to live near those prized amenities, it can be far, far, far more expensive. But when we think about affordability, I did want to this conversation, the conversation with Governor Sherrill, and actually an op-ed that Councilman Hale wrote, which was really spot on when it comes to the governor's agenda, when it comes to permitting and kind of fast-tracking housing development from an environmental standpoint. I don't want to mischaracterize what you said, but it was really important.
Thank you.
And actually, I had been thinking about this prior to that. We, by day, I'm an affordable housing policy advocate, and one of the, there in any field, there are several areas, there are several sources of research and reports that kind of provide a guiding light on what it is that we need to do. One of those reports is issued annually by the National Low Income Housing Coalition. And they release an annual report called Out of Reach. And it really offers a useful way to look at housing affordability and what the situations are on the ground, and less, from truly from a sociological standpoint. It doesn't offer solutions, but it does tee up some of the concepts that I think that we're thinking of. New Jersey, to no one's surprise, is the 5th least affordable state in the country when it comes to renting. Right here in Middlesex County, the Middlesex, Somerset, Huntington, HUD metro fair market rent area, we are the 2nd most expensive region in the state. And a worker would need to earn $47.81 an hour to afford a modest 2-bedroom rental. That is the 2nd highest 2-bedroom housing wage among New Jersey's major rental markets, behind Jersey City, which is $53.13 an hour. Statewide, New Jersey, as I mentioned, ranks 5th in the nation for rental housing costs. A full-time worker needs to earn $43.89 an hour, or about $91,000 a year to afford a modest 2-bedroom rental at the HUD fair market rate. For 1-bedroom, the required wage is $36.88 an hour, or roughly $76,700 a year. Fair market rent is not average rent. I should mention that. It's HUD's estimate, it's the Department of Housing and Urban Development's estimate of the cost of a modest non-luxury rental unit in a particular housing market. The National Low Income Housing Coalition uses that as a benchmark for determining how much a household needs to earn to keep housing costs within the 30% affordability standard. That's not just NIHC standard, it is the generally accepted standard for housing affordability before subsidy kicks in, as well as a threshold by which we can measure market rents. Compare those numbers with New Jersey's $15.92 minimum wage. A full-time minimum wage worker can afford only about $828 a month in rent under that standard. To afford a modest 1-bedroom at the statewide fair market rent, that worker would need to work approximately 93 hours a week for a 2-bedroom rental. That's about 110 hours. Think about that. The problem extends well beyond minimum wage workers, obviously. New Jersey has approximately 1.27 million renter households.
and nearly 300,000 or 23% have incomes below that 30% threshold that we discussed, while nearly 500,000 or 39% of those renters are below 50% area median income. So that means the greatest housing need, while it affects all of us, is for the low and very low income renter population. For a household at 30% area median income, that equates into an affordable rent of about $1,000 a month, compared with a statewide one-bedroom fair market rent of closer to $2,000 a month. Even a household at 50% area median income can afford only about $1,675 a month. And the median New Jersey renter household is not comfortably situated either. Its income supports approximately $1,685 a month in rent under that 30% standard, still below the statewide one-bedroom fair market rent. So what do we learn? Affordability is not simply about whether someone has a job. Rents can be too high even for people who are working full time. And the households with the lowest incomes, the private market rental market, can often and usually cannot produce housing at rents that they can afford without public subsidy. The takeaway is that the private rental market, despite the need to build much more housing, we have a significant housing deficit in New Jersey, and we need housing at all income levels. But that standard market housing production does not necessarily improve housing affordability, other than create pressure to bring the market down. But as we know, prices are pretty stubborn when it comes to coming down, even when those pressures go away. So what do we do? And what does this mean for places like Highland Park? Well, we build more housing, but we recognize that not all new housing is affordable. We need to build more homes, particularly in high-cost areas such as here. And that means making it easy and promoting diversity of housing is also really important. So that means, generally, and we look to the state for guidance on this, but it means making it easier to build multifamily housing, duplexes, triplexes, accessory dwelling units, and apartments near transit and employment centers. Well, look at that. We have enormous housing diversity here in Highland Park. We are very close to employment and transit centers. We have garden apartments and single family homes and duplexes and triplexes all mixed into neighborhoods that would all require major variances today. When I look at Montgomery Garden Apartments, I think about the apple orchard that used to be there, a stone's throw from the rail station, and how difficult something like that would be to approve now. But it's there, and it's really important. And so, and this kind of translates to when we think about the things that we're building and planning for now, and the effect, the long-term effect, well beyond our lifespan on the greater Highland Park community. So we need to make it easier to build multifamily housing, and that's something that we look forward to engaging with our state leaders as well as contemplating locally about. And we also need to look, and this is one thing that other towns are doing, is look at zoning reform. And other regulations that can make smaller multifamily housing that are unnecessarily difficult or expensive to build, less difficult and expensive to build. And these are general kind of policy discussions, ruminations that all towns really need to think about. And Highland Park being in the market that it's in, being in the location that we're in, and benefiting from the unique assets that we have within our reach. We're well primed to do some great things here. We also have an opportunity to build and preserve deeply affordable housing, dedicating public resources for housing for households at the lowest income levels. Things like establishing, the state just gave the green light to establish municipal homelessness trust funds. That's a way that municipalities can control have agency over how much money they can sideline for things like homelessness prevention, rental assistance, and so forth. And this requires a housing plan to end prevent homelessness. So having a housing plan in mind, which we just completed last year, would be really important. And speaking of our housing plan, Highland Park does have a long-term affordable housing obligation. earlier this year or last year, we signed off on our fourth round affordable housing plan for the next 10 years from 2025 to 2035. Our needs are modest, surprisingly modest, because we don't have a lot of growth here. We don't have a lot of space here. And we don't have a lot of population growth here either. So our prospective 10-year need is 45 affordable homes, rentals, whatever type of housing that is. That's extremely modest. We've already met most of it because we had banked a surplus from the third round, and also with all the wonderful things that are happening, we're going to have more affordable homes built into some of these projects downtown. But we do have an opportunity to address what's called a present need, and that's our obligation. There is 209 units. This addresses existing housing need, particularly the rehabilitation or preservation of housing for households currently in need. That includes affordable homes that are affirmatively marketed as affordable, that may be coming whose 30-year deed restrictions may be expiring. It's a great opportunity to take inventory on that, as well as to assess the condition of many of our existing apartments, which are older. And just because they're older doesn't mean that we need to take our eye off of them. The state, in its infinite wisdom, again, another longer term discussion, does not allow municipal rent controls to be, well, it doesn't require municipal rent controls to be applied to new development for 30 years. And because often that construction is predicated on 30-year mortgages, pilot agreements, you name it. That to me seems profoundly unfair that new housing is built while the older housing, which may be more neglected, is rent capped and may be more appealing to lower income renters, while those that can afford higher income rents are able to live in the nice new apartments. So, we have an opportunity here to take an assessment of our aging rental stock, and to engage those property owners in that regard. We've seen incredible investment from some of our garden apartments in Island Park, who have done an enormous work on maintaining their grounds, improving their interiors, retrofitting for new windows and energy efficient appliances, even in-unit washer and dryers. So there really is, when these entities, operate in Island Park, they understand the value of managing property here. They understand the importance and necessity of making sure that those properties are up to date and current. And we have the obligation to monitor that work and assist, improvements where we can, provide resources where we can, and also work with property owners in order to make sure that our rental housing is tip top, particularly as affordability is not going down. So before we do any of the hard work at the state, county, local level to address affordability, we can look right here at home and make sure that everything, as many rental units are safe, decent, and then ideally affordable. This is the numbers that I provided earlier give us a useful benchmark, but they also give us a reason to pursue a housing policy that is broad and more than simply counting how many units we build. We get stuck in that numbers game. Oh, we have 45 units that we have to build over the next 10 years. What types of projects are we going to do that? Is it going to be inclusionary zoning? Is it going to be 100% affordable? There's a multitude of developers and partners that we can collaborate on. And there's also subsidy out there that is available for those builders. So as we think about affordability, let's think about kind of the bigger picture. Let's think about the assets that we have right here in Highland Park, and let's think about really starting these discussions. So I want to thank Matt Hale and Governor Sherrill and all those who inspired this council report. And that is it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Borough Administrative report.
Good evening, Mayor. I just had a couple items I wanted to, one that was a item on the agenda, I just wanted to make sure was clear. Reso, item number 11.1, 826, 190 regarding the additional services we're looking to authorize for Arterial, who are, as a reminder, is the consultant working with us on the designs for finalizing the designs for the plaza, otherwise known as Borough Square. I have to get used to it too here. I just wanted to quickly run through, we just identified additional work that was required to basically get to construction, a drainage permit, this related to our stormwater plans with NDOT, a boundary survey we need to complete before we start putting up fences, as well as a permit with Freehold Soil Conservation District. Those are all costs that were anticipated in the original proposal, but they are handling, and some of those are just pass-throughs as they work through those permits. So that's that item. The other item I wanted, there was two things I've been getting more phone calls on lately. I figured I'd use the opportunity to mention is, I guess it's getting to the end of summer. Everybody's going through their houses and getting cleaned up, ready for the school year, and everybody wants bulk pickup. And I just wanted to remind folks that we do resume with our appointment-only bulk pickup in September, so you can call down to DPW to make your appointments using their phone number, 732-247-9379. And then I'd also mention the other question I've been getting a lot is, when is the town-wide yard sale coming up? Boy, people plan ahead. That's scheduled for October 17th and 18th, the weekend. And then that leads me to the other bulk opportunity, which is the week after the town-wide yard sale. We do a town-wide bulk pickup, not by appointment. So depending on which side of town, your pickup date's different, but the yard sales, you know it's coming when the yard sales come. So I just thought I'd mention those two items there.
Okay, Borough Attorney's report.
Nothing from here.
Okay, thank you. I have a very brief report. Two things that pertain to construction. The construction on Woodbridge Avenue, as you are all aware, is continuing, and this week it seems like the roads are narrowing even more. But if you look at the side leading out of town, you can see where the improvements are good, and we did not have any issues with water runoff since the construction has started on that side. The construction will continue on all the way into November. So bear with us and bear with the contractor that's doing this work for us. They're gonna continue to work until November. River Road is also under construction, and we are striving for better improved road conditions and easier access to our major thoroughfare. So continue to bear with us as we work through these construction, as they are problems now, but it'll be much more improved roads later on.
Hope so.
And yes, it will be much more improved roads. And another road issue is Route 27. As you see, the traffic pattern has changed on Route 27. We are still in discussion about more improvements over on 27. So construction is all over the place, and we're working on it closely to get all of this in line. And we will continue to keep you posted. And now I'm just gonna read what I have here. A small act of inclusion and opposition to intolerance are always encouraged, especially here in Highland Park. In this current climate of political polarization and increased racial and religious tension, it is the small act of neighborliness that helps many of us retain our faith and our sense in community. Earlier this summer, the owner of a Highland Park business was greeted by a new customer, someone who recently moved to Highland Park. And this person went into the business to purchase an item, and he said to the business owner, "How can you operate here? There are so many Jews." I think that was highly offensive, but the business owner did not skip a beat. He said, the business owner told the customer that they can definitely leave the store and don't come back. Because we do not appreciate those kind of vibe here in our town. We're a small town with a huge heart. But the message, it was subtle and it was very clear that hate has no home here in Highland Park. And as we go about our daily lives, let's find ways of where we can encourage act of kindness, act of inclusiveness, and act of showing love to each person that we meet. A little smile, opening up a door, a nice gesture. We have to find ways to pull away from the craziness that's out there and be neighborly and be human to each other. And that's my report. Thank you. And now it's time for public participation. 3 minutes per speaker on items listed on the agenda. Comments from members of the public attending in person will be heard first, followed by those who are on Zoom. Anyone from the public can go up and speak now. Anyone on Zoom, Terry?
Yes, Mayor, we have 5 attendees on Zoom, and I do have a hand up.
Okay, let's.
This is
Who's
phone
that
number
person?
ending 4445. If you could just state your name.
Hi, Lois Lebbing, North 2nd Avenue. Okay, I've got a few more things. I heard mentioned that the trees are dropping branches. Yes, please look in front of Borough Hall. The honey locust has a fallen branch and has many dead branches right above, waiting to fall on unwary pedestrians right in front of your building. Second, Department of Public Works was mentioned a few times. I don't know if I missed, but Frank Troy is celebrating, and I'm saying celebrating, his 42nd year with the borough sometime this week, possibly tomorrow. And what I see on the agenda is your secret session is about redevelopment. Now, I had a potential buyer, and I'm telling him that this neighborhood at North 2nd and Denison has many, many multifamily homes for 12 years, 13 years. All I've been hearing is, again tonight, we need housing, we need affordable housing, we need housing. And yet he comes back after talking to an expert, and it's the zoning in your zoning map for this area has not changed, he said, since the 40s or 50s, so that's 70 years, give or take. It's RA. This is single family with a few non-conform. No, I told him it's mostly non-conform. It's mostly multifamily with a few single families. This one block. RB in your master plan land use element, page 80, talks about the RB district, the second paragraph, specifically from Lincoln Avenue East and the professional office and the garden apartments. I share 100-foot boundary with Highland Montgomery's almost 200 units, and anybody who wants to buy that property with the extra land has to put up a one family when it's 192 at the apartments, 5 or 6 in front of us where Anton put up his building. The blue house was built in 1919 or so, and it's 2 family. We're filled with 4 family, 1 8 family, many, many down North 2nd are 3 family. You got townhouses on one more block beyond. And now you've got a custom-made spot zoning at 810 North 2nd. Okay, fine. But don't tell me that I have to have someone only put a one family next to the apartment dumpsters. So I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm hitting you with this out of the blue. But if you are truly looking for more housing, you better do something with this 80-year-old RA zoning. At least, I'm just asking, bring it into the 20th century and up to date. Just at least up to date. Thank you. Bye.
Right. Anyone else?
Mayor, hold on, sorry, I gotta do my own system here. I don't see any other hands up.
Okay, seeing that there's none, may I have a motion to close public participation?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember George.
Yes.
Councilmember Hale.
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch.
Yes.
Council President Kim Cho Han.
Yes.
Councilmember Pistonik.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
All right. I think a happy 45 years to Frank Choi would be more than welcome. We all need to say a quick happy 45 years.
Well, I think it's a
That's correct.
42.
Oh, it's 42, not
We do it in
45.
increments of 5, but it's agreed in the sense.
Okay, we got to send him a card or something to say happy 42. That's a long
I will
time.
double check our.
Yeah, let's double check our records to make sure it's correct.
For sure.
Yes, and as we talk about trees, that we are all painfully aware that we all have been having extreme weather across the country, and we did address the trees that are coming down, and we're telling people to be very careful. And not only that, we do our best to do our tree pruning as much as we can. And we'll take all of those things into consideration. With that said, I'm going to move on to the consent agenda. But before we do so, I'm going to request to table 11H, that 26-186. We're going to table that one. Okay. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember George.
Yes.
Councilmember Hale.
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch.
Yes, and just thank you, Mayor. This is there's nothing wrong or any concerns here. This gives the Public Works Committee a little more time to just take a look and provide questions. Yes.
Council President Kim Cho Han.
Yes, and I just want to make sure that this shared service gets in there. All 25 towns do participate in the in the county with this. So we need to make sure we don't forget about this shared agreement as well. Yes.
Councilmember Pistonik.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
And Terry, with us tabling this shared agreement that for 11H, it would not impact anything as far as we know, that we would not miss out on opportunity.
They had requested response by the end of the month, but since we have a meeting, and we'll have a Public Works meeting before September 1st, I'll make sure the director is aware that we're moving forward. We just wanted the committee to have a little time, and they sent the agreement after we had our last Public Work committee. So I think if we're asking for a grace of a few days, it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, thank you.
If that changes, I'll let you know.
Yes, please do, because we don't want to miss out on an opportunity.
Yeah.
All righty, okay. Now we're going to go to the consent agenda resolution. May I ask any council member if there's anything that they would like to have separated out for, pulled from this agenda for a separate vote?
No, Mayor.
No, Mayor.
May I have a motion to adopt the following consent agenda, 11A through 11M with the minus of 11H?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember George.
Yes.
Councilmember Hale.
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch.
Yes.
Council President Kim Cho Han.
Yes.
Councilmember Pistonik.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Okay, and now we're gonna move on to appointments. Safe Walking and Cycling Committee, SWAC, and Hosman. May I have a motion to confirm?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember George.
Anna's been attending a number of our meetings as a volunteer. I'm glad to welcome her aboard. She was also very helpful with the last event we had, the excellent bicycle rodeo. Great member. I vote yes.
Councilmember Hale.
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch.
Yes.
Council President Kim Cho Han.
Yes.
Councilmember Pistonik.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
And now it's time for the second public participation. 3 minutes to speak on any topic, subject to conclude at 9 p.m. Comments from members attending in person will be heard first, followed by those on Zoom. When you come up, please announce yourself. Anyone on Zoom, Terry?
We have 4 attendees on Zoom with no hands up at this time.
Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion to close public participation?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember George.
Yes.
Councilmember Hale.
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch.
Yes, sadly.
Council President Kim Cho Han.
Yes.
Councilmember Pistonik.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to move into executive session, and May I have a motion to adopt resolution 8-26-192 executive session? One topic will be on redevelopment negotiations on track C. The other one is redeveloping negotiation at 308 Raritan. And third is privilege attorney-client matter, cannabis leasing and the fire department. Roll call.
Motion.
May I have a motion? Sorry.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember George.
Yes.
Councilmember Hale.
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch.
Yes.
Council President Kim Cho Han.
Yes.
Councilmember Pistonik.
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas.
Yes.
No, we will motion to adjourn to exec session, and we will not be coming back out to the public after that. We'll leave right away. So our next meeting is scheduled for September 2nd. See you all then and have a safe summer. Thank you.
September 1st.
September 1st. First, am I coming up later?
I'm right back.
I'll join on 27.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.